All right. I am not going to edit this before I put it up live, so whatever's in here, I'm doing this in monitor light because just it's just off the cuff. Anyway, so I wanted to give kind of like a footnote to some of the things I said during my time on Soma's podcast, Dorcas Hour, and thank you, thank you to Jay for giving me a platform to talk on. Honestly, because who gives a shit what I have to say? Shout out also to Jordan. That's a homie. He's a good dude. I've gone through a lot of conversations and, looked at the context of things that I've discussed in the last like week or a couple of weeks as I move on from my employment at Ironmace. And, I definitely went on the podcast and presented everything I said as like totally level-headed and no bias, but obviously that's not true. Everybody has an ego, no matter how much you want to deny it. There is just at least some level of personal defense that you will go to. I still stand behind all the things I said in terms of employment with Ironmace. I hated working for SDF. He's insufferable in my opinion. But I feel like it's probably more appropriate to qualify some of those things and also just kind of make like a footnote on everything I had to say at the end. I'm rambling. First of all, SDF has every right to make whatever game he wants to make. That is his right. He can do whatever he wants. And you, whoever's watching this right now, can decide if you want to play that game or not. You can let others influence your opinion of it if you want to, but at the end of the day, you decide if you want to play the game he's making. So this is a relationship between you two entirely. I think that I try to encourage people to think for themselves and play it if they want to or not, but I also lean towards fuck this game, fuck this company. I now am at this point where I don't care. It's rare to actually say that about something, but I've moved on. Like maybe I will go check out an update in the future, but I'm emotionally disconnected from it now. I'm not constantly checking for updates and like getting involved in drama and seeing what's going on. I don't care anymore. It's a footnote in my life. I tried to have an impact on the game and community in a way that I believed would be good for it, and that opinion that I formulated was influenced by all of my interaction with people in the community. And I tried to be as verbose with that as possible, but I'm one person, so the lens through which it's focused is, it's painted pretty clearly in the things that I said and how I represented myself. I'm trailing a little bit here, but I'm trying to just remain like fully lucid in this conversation and not really go off of a script or anything. So, I had a conversation with Terry on the side afterwards, and, he reached out to me very genuinely apologetic for my experience. And I don't want to get into, I'm just going to leave it private. I don't want to get into things. But one thing he did say was that Grayson specifically has the most unenviable job at the company. And I'm going to be honest, I actually kind of agree with him. And Grayson, if you're watching this, man, I don't hate you, man. I don't even think you're a bad guy. I think you're too self-obsessed with image. I think you care too much about what people think, and it influences your ability to do your job, which makes every day difficult and suck. And I totally get that. You got to let it go, man. Just remember to connect. They're not just customers, they're people. And, talk to them every once in a while. Maybe you won't think they're all such shitheads. Some of them are, but you can't do anything about that. To protect your own sanity, just let go of the whole ego, image, whatever you have going on there, and just approach it holistically as a job. That's the best advice I can give you. You could take it or leave it, but I just wanted to address that because, I strongly disagreed with the way that the Discord and community management was handled. I think we even had like some meetings with external parties to sort of get influenced ideas on how to handle it, and it never really aligned with that. But I think that's a reflex of having so many people just come at you constantly and accuse you and berate you and tell you that you're shit. So like it makes perfect sense why someone would instinctively and reflexively say, fuck all these people. But unfortunately, that's sort of the duty of the job. And in reflecting on this, I see what Terry meant by that, and I agree. I was sort of sheltered from the overall genuine opinion because I didn't have to deal with the wardens and moderators, and he did. I feel so bad for the moderators of basically any game like this, but especially Dark and Darker. They just get so much undeserved shit and undeserved hate. It is unbelievable. It is a very unenviable position, as Terry described it. And that whole chain of dealing with the community, like, guys, Dark and Darker is a video game, okay? There is nothing on this planet that earns you the right to go into a Discord and just... Those are people on the other side of that, okay? Those are human beings. Give them a fucking break. If you don't have anything constructive to say and you're just there to be angry, do it somewhere else, man. Just like go turn that energy into something productive. Go, I don't know, find a hobby, man. Just do something else. This tracks back to my earlier point, which was if you don't like the game SDF is making, that is your right. And you can voice your opinion, and he has the choice to decide whether he wants to listen to you or not. I think what's happened a lot in gaming nowadays is everybody expects their voice to be heard because everyone is only thinking about themselves. Now, not everybody is this way, and people are, pretty realistic. I do actually think as a whole, gamers are pretty understanding that their exact needs can't be catered to at every possible moment. But, people have become a lot less patient over time. And so that's kind of crystallized into everyone just throwing what they want out there, and then it's just this sea of shit. And you can't expect anyone to possibly parse through all of that. So unless you're having long-form discussion about what you'd like to see change for the game in a constructive manner, you're not being listened to. It's just voices into nothingness. And I understand for some people that could be therapeutic. Maybe that's a release, but find a more constructive way to do it, because you're all you're doing is contributing to negativity. And if you can't look at what you're doing and reflect on that and say, wow, I'm just being a piece of shit, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Have fun. Go at it. But for the love of God, leave the wardens alone, man. Those people don't deserve it. To SCF specifically, you need a vacation, dude. Get the fuck out of the office for like 2 months. I know you can't do that, but you have to find some way to get away and detach from this for a little while, because you've kind of lost the plot, I think. I don't think he's going to listen to me or even care what I have to say at this point, but that's my 2 cents. Anyway, I know I've kind of rambled on this a lot. This is really just stream of consciousness at 3:30 in the morning. I debated on whether I was even going to make this or not. Jordan and I, when we were talking about doing the podcast, we both kind of agreed that this was kind of the signing off point, because neither of us is really particularly interested in engaging in public discourse anymore. My opinion on that has changed a little bit, as sort of, like interests of mine have changed, but I respect his position to do so. And I think that was kind of a banger send off. I have a lot of respect for Jordan. He's a really good dude. I wouldn't have gotten the job at Ironmace if it weren't for him, because he recognized whatever he saw in me and said I'd be a good fit for a role that I realistically had no credentials for. I have a very, decorated resume and other things, but I don't know. I hoped I proved to be at least somewhat competent in the things that I tried to do. I did have a lot of fun in some of my time at Ironmace, but a lot of it was very frustrating. And I think I look back at it and acknowledge that it's fine. And, that's life. Shit happens. You move on. You learn from it. You grow from it. These are professional relationships. People are not always going to work out with each other. That's just how it is. So, not like this. I don't really care what he has to say about me. And if you're watching this video, whatever, dude. I don't hate you. I don't even care. If you want to keep dragging my name up, go for it. I don't give a shit. I'm completely over the drama. It's just, I can't even, you could come out and tell everyone that I killed somebody at the Ironmace office. I wouldn't even try to defend myself. I just don't care. Say what you want. I tried to leave what I believed was a lasting impression on the community, and I tried my best. I am human. I made mistakes. I'm not going to pretend I didn't do anything wrong. And I tried to qualify some of the things I did on the podcast, and I still stand by that. I held integrity. I have morals and ethics that I care about strongly that led me to resign from Ironmace instead of just sitting around collecting a paycheck until they fired me. Part of that is also boredom driven anxiety, but I made the choice to leave because I felt it was the right thing to do. And if you can't believe me that I have those morals, then I can't change your mind. So whatever you think about me, that is up to you. I'm not going to sit here chasing shadows and trying to find every narrow corridor down which people talk shit about me. It's a fruitless effort, and I just don't care. So this video, I don't even know how long it is. I'm probably not even going to edit it. I'm just going to click upload on YouTube. If you watched it, thank you. I might post it to the Reddit just so that people can hear me yap for the one final time. And just so that people in my circle of friends know that I don't want to fucking hear about Dark and Darker anymore. If you want to talk to me about there's a new thing that I might be interested in checking out with the game, great. But if you're going to sit here and talk to me over and over again and deliberate about updates that should or shouldn't be done to the game, I've had this discussion a trillion times and I'm not interested in having it anymore. It is recursive entropy. It is decay into endless nothing of thought, because the end result is SDF has the final say, and it is his right to make the decision. You can agree with him or you can not agree with him, and you can voice your opinion. That is it. I don't want to hear anymore. Leave me alone. Good night, everybody.